Welcome to Dropping Diamonds with me, AJ Andrews, where we dive headfirst into the world of softball. Today, joining me, she is a Gatorade Player of the Year. She is an All-American out of the University of Kentucky. She wears USA across her chest, and she represents the AUSL Bandits, Erin Coffel. Thanks for joining me, girl.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited.
How are you?
I'm good. We got a little refreshing break, a 2-week break, so I'm ready to get after it again.
We're starting the second half of the season. And before we start getting into your journey and all things softball, I love to start with affirmations because, in softball, it's important for us to start things off.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
We got to lead things off. And so I'm going to start with our affirmation. So a quote that I wanted to start with today is, results happen over time, not overnight. You must first have patience in order to have patience.
I love it.
And I feel like an affirmation I can bring from that is, today, I will have both urgency and patience to reach success. I'll be urgent about my effort, but patient with seeing the results. How do we like it?
I love that.
I love that. With it?
Yeah. I do affirmations almost every morning.
Yeah?
So, yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
what is a quote that you absolutely live by or an affirmation that gets you through every day?
For me, my dad has always told me to just trust the process. It's so simple, but I just think, softball can be so easy to get caught up in the results of things. And I think the process is so special. And, if you really just dive into each and every moment and just the process of being great, that's what means the world to me. And I feel like that's what has gotten me here today. So
when we say trust the process, how do you stay trusting the process when the process gets hard?
Yeah.
Because in softball, it gets hard often, and it can sometimes be hard to trust it.
Yeah.
How do you maintain that?
I just, this whole past year, I had to trust the process. I was like, this is not who I am as a softball player, but I'm just going to continue to work as hard as I can because I know there's an end to this. And I think, coming off my senior season and going into my rookie season, I was just burnt out a little bit, and I had to just trust the process. I had to trust even some days where I didn't want to and I didn't believe in that. I had to convince myself, the end is near, positive results are coming. And I just think this offseason, I truly worked on that and truly just dove into myself and how I was going to be a better softball player, but also a better human and not get so caught up in the results of the game.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, getting caught up in the results of the game. Be patient with the results when they come. One thing I feel like that I've kind of developed through college was, instead of saying trust the process, trust your process.
Yes.
AJ. Trust your process, because my process is going to look different than yours.
Correct.
It's going to look different from every other person that's on the field. When you think about your process, how would you describe it?
My process, I feel like, comes in waves. If when I strike out or I get out in an at bat or I have a bad at bat, I think I need time to dwell in it for a minute or two. Give me a half inning, and I've gotten a lot better at it, but give me a half inning to truly, get over it and see what I did wrong. But as soon as I step onto the field and play defense, I'm over it. It's time to move on. But also in that moment, I have to be a really good teammate. Especially now that we're in this team format, I have to, be a good teammate and dive into my teammates because I want them to do the same to me. So I just think it comes back to bless you in a way. But to just trust, that your teammates have your back, and that's what softball is all about. And that's, again, what I love about this team format that we're getting back into.
I was going to say, what is your favorite part about the new AUSL format, being on the team with the Bandits? You guys are leading all 4 teams, 9-3 record.
Yeah.
We're going to get into what you're leading, because you're also leading a lot in the stats. But what do you love most right now about AUSL?
I love that they're bringing back the original softball format. I feel like that's why people play the game, is to, create relationships that are going to last a lifetime. Because that's what softball does for you. Softball is an individual sport, but if you're playing it individually, you can get caught up in that really quick. And I think kind of that's what the old format of AU, that's what makes it so tough, because you're playing for points and you're playing for money, and technically, but I just think the team format brings it back to the old days, playing in high school, playing in travel ball, playing in college again. So I think that's what makes it all worth it again.
Well, I feel like you just dropped your first diamond just now, because you said softball is not an individual sport.
Mm-hmm.
And if you play it individually, that is when it gets hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is our first diamond that got dropped on this podcast. When you think about moments in which maybe you have played the game individually or you've got caught up in your own performance,
Yeah.
how do you feel like you were able to switch that mindset back to, I'm going to go out and if I'm not doing what I need to do today, I'm going to support the next person until I'm able to get there?
Yeah. I think for me, it's like catching that moment as soon as it comes into my mind that I'm playing individually. I'm like, no, that's not happening. Like, turn it around. Like, you're not going to have this mindset today. Like, you're going to be great today, but you're also going to be a great teammate today. And I think, telling myself that I'm going to be great just outwardly brings out the best in myself and the best in others. So if I think one-minded, I try to instantly catch that and be like, no, that's not happening today. Like, you're not doing that. You're not going back to your old ways, So.
Is that an affirmation you say? You say affirmations. Do you tell yourself that? I'm going to be great today.
Oh, yeah.
All
the
are some
time.
other things you say?
I'm going to hit the ball hard today. I'm seeing the ball really well today. I'm going to be a great teammate. I feel good. My body feels good. All that kind of stuff. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
Be Delulu, even if you don't feel it. Be Delulu till it's true.
Yes. I 100% believe in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You believe in manifestation?
Yeah.
What is something that you feel like you've really been able to manifest?
The whole mindset piece for me has been huge in that, and just kind of using the affirmations and, constantly feeding that to me, even if I don't feel it, like just constantly like talking to myself in that way and not talking negatively to myself. I try to do it before like every single game or every single practice, but I just try to constantly feed myself the Lulu thoughts. And even if they're not true sometimes, I'm like, okay, I'm believing in that. Like, let's go. So
Delulu till it's true.
Absolutely.
What's like the most delusional thought that came into your mind that you were like, okay, no, I'm gonna make this true. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, probably like, I don't know if it's Delulu to you all, but like winning, the All-Star Cup or something like that, or I guess that's the most delusional thought, but like going 4 for 4 or something like that. So yeah, nothing out of this world, but
and for you, it's pretty normal. Yeah. You make the delusional thoughts. It's now a part of the muscle you flex.
Yeah.
It's now something you get to work all the time. Because what's so interesting? The reason why I really wanted to make sure that we start our affirmations talking about patience is because I don't know if there's anyone that is more patient at the plate than you, Erin. At Kentucky, you were all-time leader in, yes, home runs with 68. Runs batted in 212, but also walks with 155. And you led NCAA D1 in walks. What goes into that discipline at the plate?
I think sometimes, obviously I try to see a ball over the middle of the plate, but sometimes I get into this process of like, I got to wait for that one pitch, because in college I did get walked a lot. So I think it kind of put me into like a bad habit of a pitch had to be perfect for me to swing at it. So I think, it was kind of like I had to balance it out a little bit. Some days I have to go in like, you got to be aggressive today. Like, we're going after it today. And some days I'm like, chill out a little bit, So I think it's just trying to find a happy medium with it all, because like I said, in college, I got walked a lot. So just trying to be aggressive, because I know I can hit a lot of pitches, not just a pitch down the middle of the plate. So just trying to find that happy medium of, being aggressive and being, patient. So
my favorite thing about you amazing power hitters, when you're like, I got walked a lot. As a speed player, I'm like, yeah, me too. I got walked so much. People were terrified of me when I came to the plate. What does that feel like when you get intentionally walked? I think I intentionally walked one time.
Yeah.
I was on a tear that day. Actually, I think we were playing Kentucky.
Oh.
Huh. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I was on a tear that day. I got intentionally walked and I was like, oh, I am big mama. Big mama. Like, I felt like my itch didn't stink.
Yeah.
For someone which that happens all the time too. Yeah. How does that feel?
I mean, it was cool at first, like doing it like my junior and senior year. Like, I got intentionally walked a lot, but then I was like, oh my gosh, like, come on,
give me
like,
a pitch.
Yeah, like, let's compete. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
You try to beat me. So I think it's it was fun at first, but now it's kind of, obviously in pro ball, I don't really get intentionally walked, maybe like unintentionally, intentionally, but I think most of my at-bats in pro ball are like pretty competitive, and the pitchers want to beat me and I want to beat them. So I think, I love drawing a walk. It's quality at bat. I'm big on quality at bats. I make sure like after each of my at bats, I go in and write in my little journal if it was a quality AB or not. And I was like, that's a win, So if it's not a win, what do I need to do better to get a quality at bat next time?
Tell me more about the journal.
Yeah, I just I like to like write in little notes about the pitchers, the starting pitcher, and my approach to them. But I just like to track my pitches like at night or something like that. I go back and I track. Because sometimes being in person and facing a live pitcher and then going back and looking at the pitch, it's like, whoa, that was a lot closer than I thought it was, Dang, I was mad for no reason after I got struck out. So, but I just think going back and like looking at my at-bats is big for me, just to understand of like, what can I do better next time? How did she try to beat me? How did I get myself out or something like that? So
when you go and write in your journal and you write your ABs, do you write down like piece by piece, this is what happened first pitch, this was my approach at the plate? What is it that the breakdown look like?
I just write so what they threw me, what synergy has in there is what they threw me, like a screwball, curveball, if it's a strike or a ball, if I fouled it off. And then I put it in the box chart, so just to see where their tendencies and what they tried to do to me. And then I write down if I on a certain pitch, if I thought it was too close to take or if it was a good take or something like that. So try to keep it nice and simple. I don't like to overthink it.
Would you say then, when you say you don't like to overthink it, is that how you approach the game in general? Some people like to have a long rundown of the pitcher.
Yeah.
Me, I always like, what's her best pitch?
Exactly.
And that's I know I'm probably going to see that at one point.
Yep. I just think that's exactly how I am. If I start to watch too much film or, talk too much about my approach, I start to overthink and it just becomes too serious for me. I like to play the game of softball because I like having fun, So I just, what are they going to try to throw? What do they throw early in the count? I want to attack early in the count. Things like that. Just, keeping it simple.
How do you feel like writing in that journal has helped you become a better player?
Yeah, I mean, it's been big for me. Before each series and stuff, I go back and I watch all the pitchers and stuff like that just to see, all the pitches they throw, how they get batters out. But I think it's helped me in a way just to keep it simple, keep it as simple as possible. What do I need to do? Where am I standing in the box? What's my little mechanical cue for myself? If she's a rise ball pitcher, it's like stay above it or something like that. So it's just helped me keep it simple.
What are your mechanical cues? Do you have one for different pitches, or does it break down kind of just?
More for like a rise ball pitcher. It's more, higher than you think. So for me, it's like slotting higher than you think, getting connected higher than you think, just making sure my barrel sits like above my hands. It's obviously not going to look like that, but in my head, if my barrel sits above my hands, that'll help me for a rise ball pitcher. But moving up in the box with like a drop ball pitcher or a heavy ball pitcher will help me a lot with my barrel plane and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to figure out what really works for you? Or was there a process you went through to figure that out?
I mean, I just started it at the beginning of this year, like journaling and journaling the pitchers out and watching them before each series. And I feel like that's helped tremendously just to, I have it written down. I can go look at it before every single at bat and what my approach is. And I think it's helped me tremendously. I wish I would have done this, 2 or 3 years ago, but it's whatever now. And I'm by myself now, I don't really have we have coaches, but I don't have my college coaches, giving me a plan and an approach. So I had to kind of figure it out for myself.
It's like one of those, as you get older, what do you know now that you wish you knew then?
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that, would you say that's the one you wish?
Yeah, I think so, because I always, got caught up in like, do I sit aside of the plate? Do I sit a certain pitch? Like, what do I do in 0-2? Like, what do I do if the pitcher gets ahead really early? Then what do I do? It's just kind of like throwing all those what ifs up in the air. And I'm like, now I have this and I wish I had it, I think it would have kept it a lot simpler for me. But I mean, I am who I am. I learned what I learned in college, and I take a lot of that with me through my pro experience.
And that's the part of of growing
up,
becoming a pro, and being able to get better through time.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is probably the biggest lesson you've learned through college, your rookie season in pro ball, that's continuing to help you develop today?
To not take it too seriously.
Mm.
I do it for a job now, and I think a lot of pressure can be built from that. But I think I took myself way too seriously, and I put too much pressure on myself to be this, amazing softball player. But at the end of the day, if you're putting way too much pressure on yourself, you're not even having fun doing it. So what's the point of doing it? So I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned is just, I play this game for a reason, right? I'm not playing it because I get paid. I'm playing it because I love it. And I love the person that I've become from it.
When was do you remember your first moment when you fell in love with softball?
Ooh, probably back in like rec ball. Like I think I hit my first inside the park home run, and you just get this rush of adrenaline from it. I think that's probably the moment, but yeah.
My first one was I'm from Florida, and so I made a diving catch. It gets really dewy and wet in the morning. Made a diving catch and just slid really, really far.
Oh yeah,
and it was like a slip and slide.
And
so I was like, oh yeah,
this is
I can
it.
do that. I can keep this up.
Yeah,
I can keep this up. Well, continuing from whether it's the journaling, the patience at the plate, the discipline at the plate, that has now the first half of the season had you on the leaderboard. But a different kind of leaderboard, right?
Yeah.
We're switching it up with AUSL. But the leaderboard for leading the league in slugging and on-base percentage. What do you feel like has really been the difference maker for you this year?
I think for me, like we talked about walks and like being patient at the plate, but I think it's been on the flip side, being more aggressive early in the count. Pitchers like to get ahead early. I think if you ask a pitcher, they want to get ahead, just like a hitter wants to, get ahead in the count. So I just think for me, it's been attacking early in the count and being aggressive on pitches that I know I can drive. Just simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find the one you like and
Correct.
go for it.
Yep. Because I usually like to take a first pitch. I don't really swing that much at first pitches, but I'm like, if it's there, why not? That's probably the best pitch you'll get.
Yeah.
If it is. So if you do decide to swing at it. So.
Man,
yeah,
I loved a first pitch.
Yeah,
because to your point, right? A lot of times it's like the best one,
exactly,
and then you're not going to get that one again.
Exactly.
When those balls go by that are beautiful, and we just let them fly by, what is your immediate reaction?
Oh, there's just like a tension in my chest. I'm like, oh my gosh, it irks me a lot, but I'm like, reset, move on, but it irks me.
Yeah.
Like I just feel this tension in my chest. It makes me mad.
I know. I have like a reflex to cough.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I sometimes stick my tongue out for some reason.
Yeah.
And like it's like a
like disgust. You're getting rid of it.
Yeah, exactly.
What is your reset? Do you have something physical you do to reset your body and your mind?
Yeah, I mean, kind of going with like the manifestation piece. I like to breathe, just really focus on my breath. I feel like it's a good reset point for me, and just to be in the most present moment. That, whether a call is called that I don't like, or something to that nature. I swing at a bad pitch, but just to reset with my breath and step in the box and go after it again.
Reset, step in,
Yeah.
go after it again.
Exactly.
We just run. Reset, step in, go after it again.
There you go.
Period.
Period.
When you think of, because right now you are one of the contenders for MVP, which I'm sure you're used to. But when you think about what makes someone MVP, what makes someone the best, not just in softball, but in sport, what do you think not only makes someone the best, but keeps them being the best?
I think it goes back to what we talked about at the beginning, the process of it all. Because as an athlete, you go through, highs and lows of your season and of your career, but who can stay the most steady through it all? I think that's a huge piece. And kind of what I'm learning as well through it all. How steady can you be? How consistent can you be even when you have a bad day or your body doesn't feel good or vice versa, or like when you have a lot of energy one day, like how do you like bring it back to like a place where you're locked in and zoned in? I just think that's what makes, the best athletes the best, is how consistent can you be every single day at the field, even days you don't want to be there, How do you show up?
Oof. How did you show up the days you didn't want to be there? It's so funny. Like we go like thinking about in college when, you just sometimes just didn't want to show up.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I wouldn't mind twisting my ankle right now. But it's
So
like,
real.
keep
So
going.
real.
How do you, for those days, remaining consistent?
Mm-hmm.
I know you like affirmations. Is there something you specifically tell yourself?
Yeah, I just think it comes back to like catching it
Okay,
in my brain. I'm like, nope, not happening.
Nope.
Nope, you're not going
Not
there
gonna
today.
happen.
Yeah, you're not going there today. Like, not everybody gets this opportunity to be where you're at. So I think catching those moments and like twisting into something, a different perspective is huge for me.
Yeah, perspective was something that was really big. Coach Serena and
Mm-hmm.
Coach Lindsay at
Mm-hmm.
LSU always said, you don't have to play softball.
Yeah.
You get to play softball
Mm-hmm.
today.
Yep.
And it really resonated the most my senior year.
Yeah.
When like you're on a countdown to when you're done playing.
Your final day is, yeah.
And it's like, oh, I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because every
Mm-hmm.
other year you're like, okay, I'll have next year. I have 2
Exactly.
more years.
And then your senior year comes and you're like,
this is it.
Yep.
I have 2 more months.
How'd
or
that
3 more
happen?
months. You know, I got to keep going.
Exactly.
When you think about your career
Mm-hmm.
and the success you've had, the manifestations, affirmations, being able to hit, was it 65 home runs?
68, I think.
68. There you go.
Yeah,
Yes.
something like
Correct
that.
me. 68 home runs. What's been, when you think of your memory of your first collegiate home run versus your first pro home run, what were the feelings? The differences? Which one was better?
It kind of, I feel like my first college home run was huge for me because I was waiting for that day, since I committed to Kentucky. I think that was probably the biggest moment for me, just feeling the surrealness of it all and like, whoa, you're actually here now. And same thing for my first pro home run. Like, you count down the days until you get here and you're like, oh my gosh, like it just feels so surreal. And to be surrounded, especially here, by the best players in the world. And to see them at home plate as you run the bases, it's the coolest moment in the world. Yeah.
Is there any player here that you're like, I'm gonna hit a home run off you, or like, I'm gonna make a play? Like,
yeah,
someone you're just like, I'm itching to win this battle that you actually finally won.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor McQuillan, but she's on our team this year.
Nice.
So yeah, but last year she owned me, and I can't wait to face her in All-Star Cup. She's a baller. I love competing against her just because she's so competitive herself. So probably her, I would say.
Well, she owned me.
Yeah, she did. Every single at bat, she did.
I think so. Like college, even just some of like those kind of stories.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite memory playing softball, whether it be collegiately or pro?
Ooh, I would say collegiately so far, just because we haven't finished our pro season. I would say my freshman year when we beat Alabama at home, I walked it off, or I didn't walk it off, but I walked off one of the games to send us. We were tied 1-1 into the next day, and we won. So I think that was just really cool for me because Alabama still had Montana Fouts, and they were the big dogs, and I think that was, to do it at home was super cool, and that was like one of my first like big home runs that I hit in a clutch moment.
What did you feel in that moment?
That was crazy. I mean, just the most like the feeling that you get when the ball sounds perfect off your bat, it feels perfect off your bat, so that was awesome.
And when I think about, what's so interesting, one of the biggest, it's not even a memory for me. It is, but Coach Serena described it. It was on my senior year when we were playing in regionals. We were playing Nebraska. And I don't remember this day at all.
Yeah.
All I remember is I had a full-on panic attack because we were losing.
Oh.
I thought my season was about to be up.
Yep.
And she had to like walk me through what happened that day and how I robbed Kiki Stokes of a home run for us to win. I was like, I did not remember that at all. I completely blanked out.
Yeah.
From those moments.
That's hilarious.
But just from wanting to, win and wanting to keep going.
Yeah.
When you think about, I feel like I learned so much from that moment and about staying present. And even though I can't tell you anything about that day.
Yeah.
It taught me about every day in the pro ball to really stay key in those moments, to feel excited.
Correct.
And not have no panic attacks for when it's going to be over.
Yeah.
For you, thinking about different lessons you've learned throughout your career in softball, what is probably the biggest one that sticks with you?
Trying to stay as present, literally just what you just said. Being as present as possible in every single moment, every single pitch, whether you're in the box or on the field. I think if you think too far in the past and too far in the future. I mean, you're just not living, you know? I think if you spend too much time in your mind and not where you're physically and mentally at, I just think you waste a little bit of life in a sense. And I think I've truly learned that this year, just to be so present in every single moment, and just, you know, cheer on my teammates every time I can, whether I just got out or I just hit a home run, but to stay steady and just to stay in the moment.
Stay steady, stay in the moment.
Yeah.
I feel like that's very good advice for anyone that feels like they're getting
Mm-hmm.
or feel like they're about to have a panic attack like me.
Yeah.
Just stay steady, stay in the moment so that you don't forget one of like the biggest pivotal moments in
Correct.
your career.
Yeah.
that you don't even remember.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about that you give assistant coach Christine Himes.
Mm-hmm.
She's someone that made a significant impact
Yeah.
in your life.
Yeah.
How so?
We hit a lot in our free time, or, you know, before practices and stuff like that. And she was just a coach for me who always showed up no matter what, even if she didn't really want to, or even if I didn't really want to, but just to continue to work and work and work and work. She brought such a different perspective, because I grew up hitting with my dad, and he is more like a mechanical guy. And, you know, Coach Himes really brought the more mental side of the game and, you know, the approach side of the game. And I just think I enjoyed every single time we got to hit together. It wasn't too serious, you know, it was just, we were hitting, we were figuring stuff out, you know, figuring out how I could be a better softball player. So she's actually coming to our game on Tuesday. So
nice.
yeah, I get to see her and talk to her a little bit, but yeah.
Is there something, maybe a bit of advice or something she's told you that has really stuck with you?
I wouldn't say it's more like the moments that we shared together, just every single day, how she showed up for me and showed up for our team every single day, no matter, you know, what she was going through or anything like that. I just think how she shows up for every single girl on our team, and for me, taught me something so much it's so much bigger than softball, and she showed me that.
I feel like you embody that now from talking.
Yeah.
You know, like you're just wanting to have fun, stay in the moment.
Yeah.
If you can't show up that day, you're going to show up for your teammates.
Correct.
And be able to lead with that example.
Yeah.
Well, not only are you a great softball player, but you can juggle.
I can't juggle. We actually had to learn that at Kentucky.
You had to learn it?
Yeah. So that was one of my freshman and sophomore year. That was one of our tests we had to get our blue shirt for practice. We practiced with the gray shirt, and there was a series of like stuff we had to pass, you know, hitting tests and like juggling and jump roping and all that. So we had to learn how to juggle. But I've never lost it. So once you learn it, you never lose it. So yeah.
So it's like riding a bike?
Yeah. Literally like riding a bike.
Do you juggle just like the 3, or
yeah,
you can
I do
more?
3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't tried the 4. Maybe I could, but I kept to 3.
Okay. Yeah. I've attempted to juggle. There was a period in my life where I tried every day for like a month.
I learned during COVID. And
okay.
So it made it a little bit easier. You know, I was home all the time, so I just got 3 softballs and I would juggle literally all the time.
That's so it was a part of a test. You guys had a series of different things that you had to do in order to be able to practice, to move on?
No, not to be able to practice, just to get our blue shirt, our blue Kentucky shirt. You know, you had to earn your blue. Yeah.
Oh, nice. What else did you have to do?
We had to hit 20 balls off the tee, off the back of the net. If they touched the top or the sides, you had to start over pretty much. So it had to be 20 balls in a row, to the back of the cage off the tee. There was a 3-plate drill. So you were hitting off a machine and you had to hit 4 of 6 balls really well. So just stuff like that. And then jump roping and our, you know, conditioning test and all that kind of stuff.
Did they ever tell you what the point of juggling? Like
hand-eye coordination and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I do appreciate it, because now, like, if my eyes feel slow or something like that, I'll just pick 3 balls up and start juggling just to make sure I still have it, you know? Yeah.
Okay. So if you feel this is something you kind of, it still helps you today with softball.
Oh, yeah.
Pick up
for sure
some balls and start juggling.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm struggling at the plate seeing the ball, I need to find 3 balls and start juggling.
I guess, if it works. I mean, if you can do it, yeah. But it's kind of like a party trick. You kind of can pull it out whenever, you know, start juggling a little bit. But yeah.
Honestly, that would be the real reason why I learned.
Exactly.
Like, guys, I can juggle.
Yep, exactly.
Don't let me learn how to juggle.
Yeah.
I'll be telling everybody I can juggle all the time.
Yeah.
Not only juggling, but you also can cook.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to cook. I like to find new recipes off TikTok.
Ew.
Yeah. I'm more of like a trier, you know. I'm not really like some majestic cook or anything like that.
Okay,
I just
but we love that.
Yeah.
Being able to just go in and just try things.
Yeah.
What's probably the best meal you've made? Like, I'm gonna give this a shot, and it actually turned out amazing.
I make some pretty good soups. I mean, that doesn't really take that much effort. You just kind of chuck stuff in there. So, but I would say that's probably my best. You know,
okay.
Some chili, some chicken noodle soup.
Chicken noodle soup.
White bean chili, all that kind of stuff.
Heck yeah. So on a rainy day or snowy day.
Exactly. Throw it in the crock pot. So easy.
Okay.
Yep.
You shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
You should have said you whip it on the stove.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. I whip it on the stove. I don't use a crock pot. Yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to dive into, because in softball, we all play travel ball, and we all have that long ride home at one point.
Yeah.
What was one of the long rides home, maybe a conversation you had with one of your parents or a reflection you've had that you still think of today?
Ooh, that's tough.
Or that's funny. You know, like one of those ride homes. One of mine that I'll never forget is I took my shoes off and my dad literally pulled over because my feet stunk so bad.
I had plenty of those.
And had to roll all the windows down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
wasn't shy about that.
Yeah, I always took my shoes off on the way home. I had to. And your travel ball shoes smell awful because you wear them all summer.
Terrible.
Yeah. I would say definitely that. I mean, me and my dad, we always would have the silence for a while, and then we'd finally break it open and start talking about it and discussing it. And he got a lot better at it throughout my college career too. He was I told him, you can't, I'm not the same girl I was in travel ball. You can't just come after me like that anymore, Yeah. So he kind of understood that, but I just think the bickering and, going back and forth, was that a strike? Should you have caught that? All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Did you hate those conversations?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I still kind of do sometimes, but I'm more mature now, so I can have those conversations. Yeah.
I love how you corrected yourself.
Yeah.
I'm more mature.
Correct.
So now it's just listen, I had a good game. Or it's I didn't have a good game. Tomorrow will be better.
Yeah.
Or let's just keep moving on.
Yep, exactly.
Let's keep moving forward.
Exactly.
Okay, well, now we're going to go into the no-fly zone segment, because whether you're an infielder or an outfielder, we would turn the field into a no-fly zone.
Yeah.
What is your favorite play you've ever made on defense?
I would say off a slapper at playing shortstop, an on-the-run play. You just had a really good bounce, and you're you're thinking you're for sure safe, but a throw on the run is gives me the most adrenaline, and that's probably the play I practiced for all the time with my dad when I was younger, just trying to perfect it to the best of my ability. But getting that play and getting a slapper out is the best moment as an infielder, in my opinion.
And on the opposite end,
the
worst moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For a slapper.
Yep.
Did you always yell Jeter when you would practice?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes on the backhand plays I would. Yeah.
Well, now you love Freddie Freeman, right?
Yes.
That's your favorite player?
Yeah.
Why is he your favorite?
I just really admire him. Just how he carries himself. I feel like we're a lot alike in that aspect. He's just a very, go with the flow, a humble baseball player, but I resonate a lot with that, and I just respect him a lot. He had a documentary come out about his wife and him had infertility reasons going on, and it was just really eye-opening to see someone go through that but also still continue playing. So I love the way that he carries himself, and it reminds me a lot of myself in a way.
What about the way he carries himself is
he's just super humble. So humble, just does his business and gets out, in my opinion. I love his presence in the box. It's not too cocky. It's not, for show or anything like that. He's very steady. So
steady.
Yeah.
Have you met him?
No, I've not. No.
Oh,
yeah.
We got to get you out to LA.
Yeah, I know, right?
Or whenever they come over to Chicago.
Yeah.
See if you can go meet him. He's very nice.
Have you met him?
Yeah.
Are you
I've
serious?
interviewed him.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Play ball. He's very nice.
Yeah.
Always has his son with him.
Yeah.
Or multiple maybe. But his oldest one comes out and shags on the field.
That's
and
so
stuff
fun.
Sometimes at All-Star.
That's so fun.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. What would you say? Because in softball, it's a game of failure, right?
Mhm.
We have to experience it.
Yeah.
What is maybe your favorite failure that's ultimately led to some of your best successes?
Mhm. It always comes back to me my freshman year. We were playing LSU actually at home, and I made like 2 or 3 errors in the field. And it was like a day where like you sobbed to your parents in the parking lot after the
Yeah.
game. Like you're just so embarrassed, and you you don't really know why it happened, or how you can fix it or how you can be better. You're just really caught up in it. And I think that was the turning point for me of like, how am I going to be a better? I never really focused much on defense growing up. It was more offensively, and I just let my athleticness take care of itself on defense. And then it kind of caught up with me my freshman year. So that was kind of the moment where I was like, dang, like I need to get better defensively. And I think that summer I really got to work on it. And it kind of flipped my perspective on defense. And I grew a love for it then. So
Mm. That game, it's always those one games.
yeah, it's always they haunt you.
They haunt you.
Yeah.
And I was so hard on myself afterwards. I would always call my dad. He'd have to give me a motivational speech in order for me to like stop sobbing.
Yep.
Like,
Exactly.
in those moments. But now you seem more even keeled. Do you feel like whenever like the errors come now, do you have a different approach to it?
Yeah, I mean, they still make me mad. I hate making errors. Everybody hates making errors.
Right.
But I think it's more of like, you got to get over it as quick as you can, because the ball is going to find you somehow, some way. The ball always finds you, especially if you're afraid. So I think, trying to get over it as quick as you can and just move on to the next play is simple but easy, finding a reset point for yourself.
Finding a reset point for yourself, and not just on the field, but also in life, kind of. I mean, also, you are a graduate assistant at Florida. I told you earlier before we started talking, I hated playing at Florida.
Yeah.
But then we talked about also how like LSU and Kentucky low-key have like a little beef now. Did you guys have a little rivalry? Was it LSU that you had a rivalry with when you were playing? Or is it another team?
We always played really well against LSU. I don't know why. We always decided to show up like every weekend against LSU when we played you guys. But yeah, I don't know. I bet there is a little rivalry from that rain delay game, but I think we always just look forward to, because it was always good competition.
Yeah.
You never know who is going to come out, but we always just showed up against LSU.
And the rain delay, because if I remember correctly, just from the description of it, Coach Serena wanted to stop the game because it was raining. And it was like the ball was too wet.
Yep.
And then Coach Lawson was like,
yeah,
step up, you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
I'm just making sure. I wasn't there.
Yeah, neither was I.
The story
I
was
just watched it on TV, and I heard a lot of stories about it. Yeah.
And the rest was history.
Exactly.
From then on.
Yep.
Well, Erin, I feel like when it comes to softball, it comes to failure, or even just comes to life, you are a reminder of the power of remaining present, the power of having patience, and the power of going up and trusting your process. And throughout that process, writing down, journaling what that process looks like. Because sometimes it is important to be able to keep these things off, to maintain and to see how your process is looking and how you are improving.
Yeah.
What is the best advice you would give to anyone, whether it's going to college, going to play pro, or just starting playing softball, about trusting their process?
I just think, you're not going to be perfect. Softball is a game of failure, and you really just have to trust that you're going to like go through those seasons of like highs and lows. But how are you going to stay the most steady? I think you can't look at the game of softball as like, you can't take it so seriously. You gotta, you know why you're playing it. It's because you love it. And if you don't love it, then you really have to dig into your purpose and why you're still playing. And I think I had to do that after my freshman year. I just really had to figure out why I have this deep passion for competing and to play, and to play against the best of the best. But, going into college, you just go into it with an open mind and go into it with learning and creating new friendships and trusting yourself at the end of the day. Because if you don't trust yourself, it's going to be really, really hard to be great. And I think trust all the work that you put in. Again, if the work you put in and you don't trust yourself when the pressure comes to it and the time comes to it, there's no point for the work. I think trusting your work and trusting all the stuff you put into yourself and you put into others, just trust it.
Trust it.
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing with the Bandits?
Oh, yeah.
Trusting it?
Yep.
How do you keep the momentum from the first half of the season rolling into the second half of the season to win the championship?
I think continue doing what we're doing. It's a long season. A lot can happen. If we look way too far ahead, we're going to get too far ahead of ourselves. So just staying with one game and doing what we can, do what we did in the first half, carry the momentum we had. One pitch, one game at a time. We never give up. We always say that in the huddle, even if we're down. So I think just continue to do what we do.
What do you guys say in the huddle? One pitch, one game at a time?
Yeah, so something around that. Yeah, if we're losing or yeah.
What's been your favorite part about playing with the Bandits?
Just creating new friendships. A lot of these girls I hadn't had the chance to play with before. So like Delaney Wiz and Bubba Nichols, like we and Jordan Roberts, we have gotten super close with each other, and they've really shared their perspective and wisdom with me, and I really cherish that, and I've loved getting to learn from them. But I just think we're all very like-minded people. We all just want to have fun playing the game that we grew up playing. So I think that's probably my favorite piece.
Go out, have fun playing the game that you love to play. And remember, results don't happen overnight. They happen over time.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go back to the diamond that Erin dropped about softball is a team sport, not an individual sport. And it's going to get hard when you start playing individually.
Yeah.
Lean into your teammates, lean into the present moment, and lean into your process.
Mm-hmm.
Erin, thank you so much for dropping your diamonds today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll see you guys next week, back on the diamond. We're dropping diamonds.